What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the GSN Sports Network podcast. I'm your host, John J. II, here with Sobo, our golf enthusiast, golf specialist. It's Masters Week, Sobo. We know that. Everybody knows that. We've been waiting for this week for a long time. We've been kind of, leading up to this point for a while. And I gave some precursors earlier in the week last week, kind of talk about it. He's got the hat there. And I think you got something to tell us about this week, which is pretty special. I was amazed when I heard it, but let's hear it.
So, John, thanks for, I think we're on year 3, 4, somewhere in there.
Something like that.
We make the Masters Week kind of one of those that I can't miss. So the last 48 hours I've been asking you if you wanted me to come on and chew the fat. And I know last year we talked about my trip down there 25 years ago. And truth be told, I'm flying out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. out of Metropolitan Detroit Airport to catch the Wednesday round. So I am like a freaking kid in a candy store. My wife and I have some friends down there, gracious enough to give us 2 tickets at face, which, just so you guys know, it's $100. Open market as of Saturday or Sunday night. We're on a thread text. Those seats on Wednesday, or those tickets, are going for $4,500. So, I'm excited, man. I don't know what to tell your friends out there, but I'm going to dive in. I think we talked a little bit about the players. I couldn't do anything on the players, but I did send you a handful of picks that we had, and we did all right. Everybody but Willie Z. So this week will be fun, man. I'm tingling talking. Let me just put it that way. And John, you know how much I love this week. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man. To be a part of it, it makes it all the more amazing and appreciated, right? And you've been there before, which also adds to the nostalgia of it, being on the grounds of Augusta and just kind of taking it all in and being a part of the action is, I'm sure, something that a lot of people wish they could experience at any point in their life. It's a bucket list thing for any golf fan or golf player, golf enthusiast, whatever you want to call it. It's something that's on the bucket list. So it's exciting stuff, man, and I'm happy for you. I wish I was in your shoes. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. We just made things happen. Coincidentally enough, they're flying direct into Augusta. 25 years ago, I think we did it a different way. We flew into Atlanta and then drove over. But weather forecast down there is supposed to be pretty good. I'm hearing a little rumblings on Thursday for your golf enthusiasts out there. And hey, here's the deal. We're going into the big time major, the first one of the year. You talked about it off air while you and I were speaking. Live and the PGA are going to dance again this week. It's already started, and what I see is, I think the table's going to get set again. You're going to have the Fearless Showdown, which I think is going to be great. Right off the top, how do you not take John Rahm and Scotty, right? So those are 2 that, you got. If you're in a pool, depending on what the pool looks like, or if you're on the open market and you want to throw a bone or 2, I don't know what their odds are. You got their odds, 475 on Scotty. I heard 450 on XM radio. I've had the PGA XM radio on all week, listening to that. I thought I heard 450. What's Rahm?
Rahm's coming in at 1,200, and it's going along the ticker tape there. And I just kind of gave the little top 10, top 15 as far as what we're looking at for odds as they stand. And these are subject to change too. A couple days left.
There's the one on the back end that I'm kind of leaning on too, in a pool or 2, maybe, is Neiman. I probably shouldn't release that information. I like to play a sleeper here and there. So he would be one that I think, I read some stuff about him. He might have a quiet little tournament. I really, course kind of fits him. He's a liver. So, I mean, it's all gonna be about putting, right? The par fives are reachable. A lot of those guys are gonna hit, the back nine, the old saying, it's cliche as ever. It's coming in on the back nine at Sundays when the tournament starts. So,
It's true.
I threw you Scheffler, Rom. I'll tell you who else I like is, well, I don't like, but it's hard to go against. He's on there, and that's Brooks. I think Brooks is going to have a good week, and then um, you can't go against Spieth. I heard a stat on him today, and he's so wishy-washy the last 3 or 4 years. He's just not that steady top 10, top five win, every 4 or 5. His life's changed. I think they've got 1 or 2 babies, and all that stuff plays in. Another couple of other good picks. The one guy I really like is it uh, uh, Uvig?
Yeah,
Uberg?
Ludwig A. Berg. Yeah,
I like him a lot. That is a great opportunity right there. My only concern with him, he's a rookie. Um, I, that can go one of 2 ways. He can go off and shoot 66 because he doesn't have a care in the world the first day, or he can be starstruck and blown apart by the environment, like you and I were just talking about,
yeah,
of the facility and the grounds and the people and who he sees and who he meets, and he could shoot 75. So,
right.
the Masters, I think, your diehards, your guys that have been there, played 10, 15, 20 times, you know, they know what they're doing. You don't want to play yourself out first, second round. If you're 4 or 5 shots off going into Saturday, you're in it. 6 shots, you're in it. Because
Definitely six.
anything can happen, and I don't want to. And when I say you're 6 shots out, I'm talking about a top 10 guy, right? I'm talking about like a John Rahm or a Scotty or a Spieth or somebody like that. Now your no names, I don't think that unless somebody really catches it quick and tears it up and shoots 63, 64, being 5 or 6, and the leader shoots 70, then you're right up there with them. But a lot of it, it'll depend on where, weather will be fine. It looks like cool, crisp mornings, and the draw. I always say that the draw, no matter what, it's like the coin flip at a basketball or a football game or a jump ball at a basketball game. If you win the draw, if you're able to play per se early on Thursday, late on Friday, I think that's the advantage. You get to play the golf course. You're the first one out Thursday morning or in the first wave. And then, you get to rest Saturday. You get to watch the Saturday scores. You get to watch how the golf course plays in the afternoon. And then you get to flip Saturday and you got a little extra, local knowledge on what's going on. A couple other names I'll throw at you is Fleetwood. I just read something on him. I mean, I kind of like him too. Um, he's got some top tens there, and he's a grinder, and I think he'd love to win it, but who wouldn't? You know,
Yeah, it's really one of those things where anyone has the chance to win, and you mentioned the aura. I call it the aura around Augusta and the grounds of Augusta National at the Masters, and it's a tournament unlike any other. And I'm going all off hearsay. I've never been there like yourself, but just from what I can see, I watched on TV. I've been following the tournament for a long time. From even the concessions and the prices of the concessions to the grounds, to the colors, to the branding, all of it in the culmination of it is into Magnolia Lane. I mean, you can go on and on about the different tidbits that make the Masters tournament so special, and it really is a tournament unlike any other because of that. And you can see these early players like the Ludwig A. Bergs getting caught up in that. Even the Akshay Batias, which got a bid with a win at the Valero Texas Open. So that's a big thing too. But you mentioned coming back from 6, 7 strokes. And then you got Denny McCarthy coming back, scoring, six,
Six
seven
game birdie.
birdies. Yeah, six, seven birdies coming down the
I
stretch
wanted.
to
Yeah.
force a playoff on 18 and really put the ice on Akshay Bhatia to make that putt on 18. I mean, if he doesn't make that, 12, 15 footer after Denny made his, you don't have a
No.
playoff. That's the end of the tournament. So,
Yeah.
and then he
I
hits in the
caught.
water, and then Akshay's getting taped up before he hits into it hits into the green on 18 after they played it again, first playoff hole, and he finished it out. And that was great tenacity, great ice in his veins to hold on and win that tournament with Denny McCarthy right on his tail all the way through.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have summarized it any better than what. And I thought I didn't know what's his face won. I thought McCarthy won.
It was looking that way. Yeah, Akshay wound up
But
winning.
I like I said, I didn't get to watch. We had something. We had another engagement. Yeah, all day yesterday. It was crazy with kids. But
Oh yeah,
I was watching the Golf Channel late last night. I'm like, holy cow, that kid did win. I wanted him to win.
yeah, I did too.
I I really wanted, and I would have been happy with McCarthy. But that what's his name? How do you say it?
Akshay Bhatia.
Akshay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
he seemed to be
22-year-old. He's a young
yeah,
kid.
pretty good kid. So I don't know. I think the live in the PGA, and from what I heard on the golf channel this morning, driving down to work in the radio with XM PGA Tour, they said that the crowds were off the hook. So I think a lot of this has to do with live in the PGA, and then you know Tiger being there. Tiger's there. What he
That's
does,
true.
that's a whole nother you know, whole nother discussion, which I don't know. I don't know that there's much to talk about. It all depend. They were talking about the par three. So we're going to be down there for the par threes contest, which I've never been. The year I went today, or I went tomorrow. I went on Tuesday. We flew in Monday, went Tuesday, and came back Wednesday. So it's going to be, I'll be at the par three on Wednesday if we can get in there, which I'm excited. It'll be an all day event. At the golf course, I could care less about anything else. A lot of walking, and that's what I was going to say. Is they were talking on the radio today that Tiger's not in a great. He's in good shape, but until you go to Augusta, and I think I shared this with you guys a couple of years ago, nobody understands that number 10 hill. The viewership does not understand it. It's straight downhill. It's like, so where Goggins' house is at Flushing Valley, right?
Oh
Right at the
yeah,
top of the hill. It's like walking down whatever hole that is that you tee off. Is that 1 or 10?
it's 10. They switched it up a couple
Take
times.
that
It's back
hill,
to 10
take
though.
take that hill and multiple and add a little bit to it.
Oh really? And it's probably a long
Oh yeah,
further
it's a
up, more
valley.
elevation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. People don't realize it. So
And the TV broadcast does not do it justice either.
I
You're
said
watching
that.
it, you're like, oh, that's not a big deal.
I
That's
said that
that's
a
that's a
long
steep
time
hill.
ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's what I like. That's what I think you're going to see. Um, you know, Spieth, he can win. Fleetwood can win. The other guy I like is Tony Finau. Uh, there's some players out there that are obviously you could they're out of the top 20 guys. It's funny, John, as we talked about this a couple of years ago. Did I not tell you the game of golf is in good shape with or without these guys?
Oh, I mean, it's in great shape with these guys. And you said it.
No, I'm saying without the guys who jump to live,
Oh, I
like
mean, it's.
like Sergio and some
I
of
think
these
it's
other.
better without them. I think the ones that chose to leave, and I think this speaks to your point on the matter, is the ones that chose to leave. It didn't hurt the PGA Tour like maybe Greg Norman and those big shots at the live, with live expected it to. They expected to bring the PGA Tour to its knees, where you're starting to see, the young up and comers like these Ludwig Bears, these players, these types of players, young guys, rookies, the Akshay Bhatias, they're staying with PGA because, I mean, everyone knows they want the money, and a lot of young talent has went to live to get the money. But to
Right.
see a lot of these young players stay with the PGA Tour, that's a statement right back in the face of Liv that maybe it's not all about the money.
So, with that being said, couple parting shots. One, I'll shoot you my picks via text.
Okay.
Two, I'd love to be able to give you a live update down there, but guess what? No
There's no
phone.
phones. No phones. That's a beautiful rule. I like that rule.
I like that rule a lot.
Yeah.
Number three, maybe we'll try and do a wrap up, next week at some point. I can chime in, give you a little thought of how it turned out and stuff. And lastly, am I going to see you on the court down in Linden or not?
Oh man, it depends. I was at the cage yesterday. I was looking for you.
Yeah, we didn't put a team together. We won down in Linden though. We did junior NBA. Honest to God, yeah. Yep.
Nice. I've thought about getting into that. I gotta get a contact down in there, but I've actually got a buddy of mine that was at the cage that works down there on the weekend. So you very well might see me down there one of these weekends.
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't bad, but we could
Wasn't?
talk about that offline.
Okay.
Last thing, who do you got tonight?
Oh man, that's a great question. I have so much, and people have gave me crap about it. You gotta wrap the Big Ten. You gotta back up the Big Ten. I gotta take UConn for the first repeat since 2008. So I like UConn. I like Dan Hurley. I like the squad that they have, I don't know. I have too much of a burning hatred, I think, for Purdue than that. So.
I'm going the other way.
Going the other way. I respect it.
What's old man Bink say?
He's got Purdue as well. As well.
I knew he would. He and I run the same way.
Yeah, you guys do. You guys think alike.
He's a homer.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, it could go either way. The spread is 6.5. I think that is a little bit skewed. This is going to be a lot closer game than that. I mean, give me Purdue to cover all day long. I think this is a 3-4 point game. But it really could go either way. It's going to come down to the big man play. And the shooting too.
Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the Masters. You know damn well this is my favorite part of the whole year with sports. This is it. This is the greatest Sweet 16 championship basketball, the Masters, opening day, hockey run by the Detroit Red Wings, and screw our long-lost Pistons.
Hey, that's right. They got a long way to come, but I think they got a lot of hope in their future. And I always talk about it too, and just to spin off that point, the sports eclipse with everything happening, everything going on in the world of sports. And you also got the solar eclipse. You got the solar eclipse today too. So it's very timely. Yeah, opening day as well. Tigers are looking good. I got big hopes for the Tigers this year too. So we'll catch up with you next week, Sobo. Have fun in Augusta. We'll
talk
soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Mike Sobolewski, ladies and gentlemen, class act, to say the least. And we're happy to have him on the show. So let's just wrap up a little bit. And Brianna Klooster with Purdue. Okay, I know a lot of people got Purdue. People are backing up Purdue like no other. They're talking about Purdue, talking highly about Purdue. Zach Edey, Matt Painter, Fletcher Lawyer. Listen, the names go on, and I got to be able to resonate with my people a little bit when we're talking about the Final Four in Phoenix, and we're talking about the final game. Obviously, my NC State Wolfpack took it on the nose on Saturday against Purdue, and that was just a terrible performance. I mean, I was beside myself watching that game. DJ Burns, terrible. DJ Horn having to do the most with limited help. McConnell getting injured, or O'Connell rather. It was Middlebrooks. He did okay. I liked his defensive play against Edey more than I did DJ Burns. But listen, it was a culmination of a lot of things. Kevin Keats not calling timeouts when he needed to, not making those adjustments when he had to. So it's all about watching it and taking it into account, accepting the madness, and seeing where it comes from. And Sobo with a quick comment. Love the Pack. You know that, right? Yes, I do. I know he was rooting for the Pack. I'd love to see that bracket. But I had the pack going all the way. Everybody knows that I've been gassing up the pack the entire March Madness since St. Patty's Day. But yeah, Sobo loves the pack. I do know that. So mad respect there, and big respect for the pack. This team put the pack on the map. Let's just be honest about that. So we're happy with where they came, happy with how far they came. Sad finish. You make it to the Final Four. And I was talking to Smitty about it. You make it to the Final Four, great. Okay, Michigan State has all these Final Four berths. They have all these Final Four appearances. What have they amounted to since the year 2000? Okay, now history is on the line. Now the Purdue Boilermakers are going to be, they're on the line to be the first team in the Big Ten to win the national championship since 2000, which you're talking, a quarter of a century since the Big Ten has had any representation in the championship conversation for men's college basketball. So let's wait and see. And to the victor goes the spoils, no matter what happens tonight. And I have no bearing on whatever happens. But it was asked, who do I have? Who do I take? I look at a team that is very well coached in UConn, the Huskies, and it's going to take a lot for them not to win. Their dominance, their ability to hold on to a lead and close out games, that's tough. That's tough to contest with. Okay, we've seen Purdue and the Boilermakers struggle a little bit more than we've seen the UConn Huskies struggle. We've seen teams give them some hell and give them some struggles. But it's not even close when it comes to, the struggles that Purdue has faced and the close games that they faced. And they've tied a lot of loose ends. So it's going to be a good game. Let's switch gears back. Okay, let's knock it off course here. Got to talk about the topic at hand, Masters Week. And we didn't talk about it much. But I'm going to kind of just touch on it a little bit more. Tiger Woods, he declared to go and play at Augusta. He has the bad back. He has the ankle. He has a lot of ailments, and he's got some hardware that's been installed. And so they're dealing with that. He's dealing with that. For him to make a berth and be at the Masters only adds to the intensity, adds to the excitement. And looking at his odds, plus 10,000, can we get a repeat of 2019? Can we see him, grace another green jacket on his shoulders? It's possible. Plus 2,000. This is the prop we're looking at, though. Plus 2,000 to make the top 5. Now, you're looking at the odds. And we're going to pull the odds up here for everybody. And it's going to be something to see. But I'm looking at the odds, and I'm looking at plus 2,000 to make the top 5. And I like that. I like that those odds, that mark. Okay, you're looking at Akshay Bhatia, also plus 2,000 to make the top 5, plus 8,000 to win it all. So it's anybody's conversation. Anyone's in the conversation. Okay, you got a lot of players here, both some live, some not. That they have good chances to make the top 5. Denny McCarthy plus 2,200. I mean, he just made. He almost made history coming back and winning that game. And you want to talk about no lead being safe. That goes for March Madness. That goes especially for the Masters. It goes for any golf tournament. Okay, because no lead is safe ever. Okay, going into the final day, you could be down 10 strokes on a Thursday, or on a that might be extreme, maybe on a Saturday. Okay, going early into the Saturday game. Saturday match, and an appearance, and you're looking at 10 strokes, and next thing you know, you're right there in the conversation come Sunday. Okay, and that's when it matters, is on Sunday, especially in Augusta at the Masters. Sunday matters, and it's not to be undermined. Sunday is it's the Lord's Day, first of all, but when it comes to the Masters, that is the day of true movement. You're seeing players get in position. You're seeing players play for position, okay, FedEx Cup points, all that, etc., yada, yada, yada. But you're playing for movement, and you're expecting to have movement on Sunday. So all I'm saying is don't count Tiger Woods out. Don't count him out of the conversation, even though he's kind of been spotty. He plays in the big tournaments. He likes playing, for his tournaments, the Hero World Challenge, in different events like that. He plays in the event with his son, Charlie. And he's going to be making an appearance here at the Masters as well, which, if you remember back to the last show that we had last week, it was really up in the air whether or not Tiger Woods would make an appearance. And plus 10,000, I mean, some may ask, oh, well, is that disrespectful? Is that disrespectful to put Tiger at plus 10,000? Like, how dare you? How dare you? It doesn't matter who this guy is. He has a chance to win. And he said it publicly. You know how Tiger's mentality is going into any tournament. I wouldn't strap up the cleats. I wouldn't strap up the shoes with the spikes unless I expected to win. So that mentality, looking at plus 10,000, throw $10 on it. It's worth it to throw some coin on Tiger, the big man, to win, to do it again. Why not? Why not? Anything can happen in Augusta. That's what makes it such a magical place. So it's exciting. Masters Week. We can't be more excited than I am right now over here because it's just a great time. Let's look at a couple other odds, a couple other betting props. You got to win, you got top 5, you got top 10, you got top 20 and top 40, which top 40 is a prop. And I mean, you got a lot of guys here plus money that, it's not a lot, it's plus 150, plus 125 to make top 40. But I mean, top 40, come on. That's kind of crazy that's a prop. Looking at Ludwig Aberg, we talked about him briefly. To win, he's plus 2,800. To get the top 5, he is plus 500. And top 10, plus 240. Top 20, minus 140. So it's, he's one of those up-and-comers. He's one of those guys where he's, like a Victor Hovland. He's like an Akshay Bhatia. He's part of these young PGA Tour players, the Sahith Theegalas, the Sam Burns. There's a lot of these guys that are kind of, they're seeing that grab. They're seeing that drive to stay with the PGA Tour, which is impressive. It's happy for me to see because, like I said, I more or less embrace it, the tradition of the tournament, of the tour. And it's easy for me to say because, listen, they're not throwing me millions and hundreds of millions of dollars to go play overseas in the Saudi Arabian League, in the tour, the Greg Norman Tour, that basically is the counterpart to the PGA Tour, which you didn't expect to happen. Nobody saw this coming. So is it easy for me to say? Yeah, but I'd like to say wholeheartedly, I'd put a 98%, judgment on it. I would more be for the tradition, for the history behind the tour, the PGA Tour, and just kind of to be a part of that, to take part in that and hold my head high playing in these majors, which for the longest time were PGA Tour events, only since the Live Golf Tour's existence, did these really get differentiated to essentially true opens. They're true opens. And since day one, they've always been single-handedly, independently owned and operated events. That is for any major that goes on and takes place on the PGA Tour. That's why they're available to be played in by live golfers. There's no controversy when it comes to the majors because they're independently owned and operated. They're not sanctioned by the PGA Tour. But before you had the live golf, you didn't really have to worry about another tour coming in and trying to infiltrate the establishment, the tradition, the history, all that. So that makes it interesting, but I could hold my head up a little higher knowing that I'm part of the tour that this event was brought into. It was built upon this tour and the players that participate on this tour. So I'd like to say wholeheartedly it's 98%. Give it 2%. You never know. Throw the 2% in there. I'd like to say with 98% confidence that I would stay true with the PGA Tour, regardless how much money was thrown at me from Live Golf. So contest me if you want. Call me out if you will on that. And I'd like to hear what other people would do as well. If you were given the option, would you stay with the PGA Tour or would you jump ship? And how much money would it take for you to jump ship and go to Live? Knowing that, you have some negative connotations. There's some funny money going on and in and around and surrounding the Live Golf Tour. Knowing all that, would you jump for the money or would you live very happily and very comfortably in the PGA Tour, knowing what it offers, knowing the traditions that it has, centuries of history? It's up to you. What do you say? How would you answer that? I'd love to know. Cool. So Masters Week, we'll wrap it up there. Masters Week, we'll just pull the odds up one more time. Scotty Scheffler plus 475 coming in as a favorite. And Akshay Bhatia, watch out for this guy. Watch out for this 22-year-old guy that really held strong, and he grew a lot. He made a lot of progress, not only in the rankings, not only in the world rankings, but also as a player. Having Denny McCarthy, come from behind and really make a push there late and force him to make, and I mentioned it with Sobo, forced to make that clutch putt on 18 in regulation. It was the final hole in regulation to force a playoff. He had to force a playoff. Denny McCarthy made the outside putt. Akshay Bhatia made that putt to force a playoff. But that was a maker, you're done putt. You had to make that putt. So to have this guy come from behind, 6, 7 plus strokes, then to make that putt, then to confidently win after the first playoff hole, that's the sight to be seen. That's growth. That's true skill witnessed in the Valero Texas Open. So leading into the Masters, not only that, but the win granted him a Masters berth. So there's a lot to be proud about there for Akshay Bhatia. Don't count him out this weekend, or this week rather. It's going to be a hell of a contest. There's a lot of good players in this field, and the Masters and Augusta National brings in only the best of the best. So a couple of the names you can see on there. John Rahm, obviously the reigning champion, plus 1,200. Brooksy plus 1,400. Xander Schauffele, plus 1,600. Hideki Matsuyama, plus 1,600. He's also won before. Another previous winner, Jordan Spieth, plus 2,200. We've seen him in his struggles at Augusta before, and it's an unforgiving location. We know that. So it's going to be one of those things where we're excited for that event, and we're excited for the ups and downs and everything in between regarding the tournament at Augusta, because it's going to have all of that. All right, T, you're going to make me do it. Okay, so we're going to revisit what we talked about probably about 5-10 minutes ago now. I've been yabbing a little bit, and we're talking about college basketball again, which I'm happy to do. This is the GSN podcast. We got to talk about everything in and around the sports sphere. So going back to the Natty, the Natties tonight, 9:21 p.m. Just over an hour from now is going to be the tip off. Who's winning tonight, Kamish? He said. So it's a toss up. Like I said, I don't have any affiliation to any of these clubs that are playing, any of these teams. Can Purdue win? Yes, of course. Do I have UConn winning? Yes, I do. Because I like Dan Hurley. I like the coaching style. And it goes even, you can go into the past a little bit and talk about the coaching style of the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell. More than showing affiliation to the team itself, I show affiliation to the coach, because that's where everything stems from. So Dan Hurley is the coach of the UConn Huskies. I like his coaching style. I like his tenacity, his animation on the sidelines really shows who he is as a coach. You can kind of get a glimpse of what's going on in that locker room. So I see it from Matt Painter as well. Do I see it to the same capacity as Dan Hurley? No, I don't. And that's not the only reason why I got UConn. I think it's a more well-rounded team. You can count on them more. Their inside game is not just a one-man band with Zach Edey. And you got more athleticism at your 5 position than you do with Purdue. So there's a lot of different things. It boils down to coaching, athletic, inside play, and definitely the ability to shoot the ball, but that's not number 3. Number 3 is chemistry. Amongst everything: coaches, players, personnel, response. All that goes into the team chemistry. So for that reason, I got to take UConn. Can anything happen? Of course. I actually got a bet with my dad, Paulie. A lot of people know him as Paulie. I call him that. A lot of people do. And I gave him 3.5. I got UConn minus 3.5. He took Purdue plus 3.5. We split the spread down because I even told him I think Purdue covers this game. I think it's close enough for Purdue to cover. So if that's what I got to pick, if I don't have to pick a team, if I got to pick a team straight up, it's UConn. If I got to pick a team to cover, it is Purdue. So that's what we got. We're going to roll with it. Mama Bank with a comment. Why so late? Why so late? I'm sleeping by 10. Well, Mama Bank, you're only going to make it maybe to the first half, maybe to halftime. This game is worth staying up and watching. This is a good one to stay up and watch, stay up till midnight, watch this one. But I get it. Totally understand. Got to get that sleep. I got to get more sleep myself. So that might be some advice, some motherly advice that I got to take into account. But tonight I got to watch the game. So give me UConn with flying colors. Whatever happens, happens. May the victor receive the spoils. That's what we're going to leave you guys with. Make sure to sign up for the GSN Challenge 5 on June 8th, 2024 at Briar Ridge Golf Course. Get signed up. The website is live on ginsportsnetwork.com and ginpros.org. Get in that registration form and sign up today. Cool. Well, I'll leave you with that. I'll leave you guys with that. Have a great night. Watch the game tonight. A lot of college basketball to be looking forward to. Looking forward to the draft, the NBA draft. A lot of basketball, a lot of football to look forward to. Golf to look forward to. Hockey's heating up. And I said it was Sobo. With the sports eclipse and the very rare solar eclipse that we saw and witnessed today, it's all a culmination of everything. Very timely. All of it's very timely. Appreciate it and enjoy it all. So I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you so much for tuning into the Gin Sports Network podcast. I'm your host, John J. II. Have a great night.